Yeah, anyway, let's get into this. Let's just jump straight in. Start doing our predictions. Starting with Group A, FaZe, NA 1 seed, G2, the NA 3rd seed, Crew, the South America 2 seed. I've got all of the teams up here so I can introduce you to them if you're not familiar. Crew is Drafinho, Drops, and Brad. This is their RLCS LAN debut. Don't know if they played any LANs in SAM, but they've been active in the SAM scene for quite a while. I don't think any of these guys are like, 15. My mouse is stuck. My mouse is stuck. What do I do? Okay, it's fixed. I don't think any of these guys are like 15-year-old like wonder kids. Yeah, we've got Drafinho 17. I mean, they're not old by any means. Drops is 19, and Brad is 18. So they've been around the SAM scene for a while. They're not brand new to the scene. It's really cool that they're finally making a LAN. Lots of talent in South America. They made it in on a tiebreaker. So did G1. Also made it in a tiebreaker from Europe. G1, if you're not familiar with the European RLCS, is the first full Spanish team to make an RLCS LAN, marked by 8, making his return to LANs after the fall major win with BDS last season, and the winter major struggle with BDS last season. Alongside Atomic and Dorito making their RLCS LAN debuts. So we've got a couple of RLCS LAN, 2/3 debut team and a full debut team against the North America's most experienced teams, pretty much. Now, I think that G1's playstyle should work pretty well on LAN. I don't expect them to struggle in that regard, but I do think there will most likely be some early nerves from them. They say they're not scared. Atomic said they're not scared of this group. I think there's probably going to be some early nerves there in the opener against FaZe. FaZe look immaculate right now. I think I'm going to give G1 a game. I'm going to do this like I usually do with my predictions. I'll use 3-0 when I think there's no chance of the team on the losing side causing an upset. 1 when I think there's an outside chance of an upset happening, and then 3-2 if I think it's a very coin flippy series. So this one I think G1 will have their moments, but FaZe have been really in good form recently. So I'm gonna say 3-1. Now, similar thing for G2 versus Crew. I think almost exactly the same story. G2, they had a very bad fall major just passed, but they also had a really bad fall major last season, although that was with a different team. Now they've got the same team all the way through winter last season till now, but winter last season they did really well. I think that they're going to probably have a rebound to that kind of form. This split has been better online for G2 than last one. Still not the best team in NA, but yeah, I think that they're going to be good enough to probably 3-1 Crew in the opening match. Crew, similar to G1, I think they're going to have their moments, but they probably will get outclassed in the early rounds here, just trying to get some LAN experience. Yeah, at North American LANs, G2 have done really well. Last year in North America, their LAN finishes were 1st and 2nd. In EU, they got, 9th and 9th again, equal. So they do much better in North American soil. In fact, that's kind of crazy. Did they get 9th, 9th, and 9th in all the EU LANs? Let's pull them up. They did, right? Because this is fall major. Yeah, G2 got 9th equal, 9th till 11th. 9th through 11th. Then there was winter major and fall major and spring major last season. They, I think, did the same thing. Yeah, they just got 9th again, and then they got eliminated 9th. That's kind of crazy that they just get 9th every time there's a LAN in Europe. G2, but this is in America, so G9, yeah, G9th. But yeah, now we're back in America, so I think they're going to do well. Now, some people think that's copium to say, because I'm European, and I say that I expect North American teams to do better in North America, but I'm definitely letting the location of the LAN influence my predictions here. If this LAN was in Europe, I would give EU teams a little buff and NA teams a little nerf on my predictions, because history doesn't lie. NA teams have always done better in North American LANs, historically, so I think that they're going to do well at this one. Some people, I don't know. Some people have said that's copium. I'm like, what are you talking about? Just look at all of the look at Rocket League history. Just look at last season. You don't have to look very deep. FaZe Crew. Now I don't know. I'm saying FaZe win this one, of course, but I don't know. Is this going to be the same day as? Or I don't know if the schedule's out with round 2 being on the same day as round 1. I imagine it will be on the same day. I'm not sure though. Maybe they're going to do like one game from every group on the one day, and then one game in every group on the next day. I think they're probably going to do these in the same day. Looking at the amount of days in the LAN, it's a 4-day LAN, so probably 2 days groups, 2 days playoffs, I would imagine. Or maybe they'll do playoffs as an extra round, so maybe they'll do this in the 3rd day. But yeah, I'm guessing that this is going to be played in the same day. So FaZe will come off a win, probably get another one, and Crew coming off a loss. I think they might get swept here. I don't think that if this does happen, as I think it will, I don't think Crew will have a chance of upsetting FaZe, because FaZe will be feeling good. Crew will be like, uh-oh, what's going on? Yeah, day one, not going to go well for them. Now, G1, I think they'll have a little bit more of a chance, just because FaZe have recently, I think, been better than G2, so I give Crew less of a chance, but I think G1 could actually have a good chance against G2. Now, I don't know if the Atomic versus Atomic thing will come into play at all, but yeah, G1, EU Atomic really wants that matchup. He wanted G2 just so he could play against the other Atomic. I don't know if G2's Atomic's thinking about that. He's probably trying not to, because of what happened at Gamers 8 with, G2 dodging the matchup Atomic versus Atomic 1v1. But I think G2 will win. However, I'm going to give this one a 3-2 because I think there's probably some realistic upset potential here for G1. I think there is. You don't think Atomic cares? Based on what? Based on what, though? I feel like he might actually care. I don't know. I feel like there's a chance, just as much of a chance that he cares as a chance that he doesn't. So I'm gonna say they've got a shot, but I still think G2 will win. But this is an interesting match, very interesting match. Yeah. If it starts going, just imagine you're losing to someone with your own name. Imagine G1 win one game. Like, I feel like it's impossible not to think about that. I don't know how you can ignore that. Okay, FaZe versus G2. I'm going to give it to FaZe, but I think G2 have got a realistic chance to win that. So I'll give them 2. Like I said, I'm not really predicting scores so much as I'm indicating what winning chance the team has. I think G1 have a good winning chance here. I think G2 have a good winning chance here. And then for G1 Crew, this is the elimination match. I think I have to lean towards G1, but I am going to give Crew 2. I think these last 3 games of the group are all quite close. This is the group of death for me. These are very close teams, I think. And if the match order was a little bit different, if G1 and Crew started against each other, if they were playing each other in round 1, I think they would have an even better chance of really snowballing and doing very well in the group, because this is 5 of these players are debuting. So I think it favors G2 and FaZe that they're opening against the newer teams, getting a good win in, well, hopefully for them, before the other teams build up any confidence. So Group B, yeah, I've got Crew getting eliminated here. They're a good team though. Like, I can't wait to see them play. Group B, Karmine, Falcons. I'm going to say Karmine relatively comfortably. I'll give Falcons 1 here because I think they do. I think they're competitive in that match. I think they'll probably look pretty good. But Karmine Corp have been very, very impressive recently. So I'm going to say Karmine for the win. Vitality, Dignitas. Now, Dignitas, a lot of people are talking about them as the team who are clearly the worst in this group. I don't think it's that clear. I don't think that there's just a big level difference. I think Dignitas coming in have more of a chance than people think against teams like Vitality and Falcons. That being said, I do think they're the underdogs, so I'm going to say 3-2. And I say 3-2 because I think round 1 here, I'm leaning towards Vitality. I think that, Radosin has been really on recently. Alpha is a phenomenal player. I think that, they do outmatch Dignitas overall. But Dignitas have got a real chance here. I think they've got a great chance to... Isn't Group B the group of death? I think it's one of them, but I think Group A is probably the real group of death here. The biggest group of death. For me, personally. Because I think G1 and Crew are a lot better than people give them credit for. And Falcons right now probably slightly overrated by most of the Rocket League scene because they're still holding them on last season's results, even though their last 2 lands, they came 9th and 11th, 12th or something. So they've had 2 bad lands in a row. And now they're going to have to go and 1v1 or 3v3 the US Embassy just to get into America. So who knows? It might just be an easy group for the other 3 if Falcons can't make it to the Winter Major 2 years running. Korea, GG, thanks to the 2-month tier 1. Welcome back to the channel. Exhibit thanks for the 10-month prime. And Fear None, thanks to the 4-month prime. He says, "Hi Johnny, let's go. NA, NA, NA." And it could be NA's LAN. I think it could be. I think this is the most clear NA LAN out of any of them. Okay, now I did say Dignitas are probably underrated, but this is the one match I don't see them winning. I think I'm going to give that one a 3-0. I don't see a chance of them winning. 1, again, it means I see the very outside chance of them winning. 2, close. I don't see a chance of Dig winning this. I think Karmine Corp are just too good, and 2, organized. So I'm going to give that one 3-0. Now, Vitality Falcons, this is a very interesting match because if Falcons can make it to the major, they do have more experience than Vitality, and I think that in the case that Falcons make it to the major, they should probably, based on past form and even recent form, they've looked, I think, quite good online with Khaled being more aggressive. I like their style. I think they probably should win this, because Vitality, they started off this split with one good event, and then they've kind of gone down a bit, whereas Falcons, they lost the last final to Rule 1 in Regional 3, but they had already qualified first seed, the only seed from MENA. So I'm kind of leaning towards Falcons in this one, but not by much, just a little bit. I think Falcons, Dig, Vitality are all pretty close, to be honest, but I'm going to lean towards Falcons on this one. They've got LAN experience. Vitality, most people think the last event is a trio for these guys. A lot of pressure on them to do well and not be replaced by Zen. Okay, Karmine Corp, Vitality. I don't think Vitality have really got a chance here either. I think Karmine Corp are, Vitality, maybe they deserve a 1, because they have played against Karmine Corp before, so they kind of, I guess, know what to expect. Unlike Dignitas, who are probably going to be a little bit more surprised. But it's either a 1 or a 0. At the end of the day, I don't think it matters, because Vitality are not going to catch up based on game win-loss here. So I think I'll give it a 1. But yeah, Karmine Corp clear favorite in this group for me. Dignitas, Falcons, I think actually another close series, another could be close one. I'm going close between Falcons, Vitality, and Dignitas, 3-2s all the way. I think that is pretty fair. I think they're very close, actually. So yeah, this is definitely a group of death, but this is, I think, just slightly more group of deathy in Group A. Okay, let's continue. Group C, Team Secret. Team Secret is the number 1 seed from SAM. They got top 4 at the the Fall Major, sorry, and then they've kept the same team, and now they're back again as a number 1 seed from SAM, so that's exciting. They've got a great group here with Team Liquid, Ground Zero, and Gaming. I think, obvious 3-0 Team Secret over Gaming Gladiators to start things off. No disrespect to Gaming Gladiators, but they're going to be the weakest team of the event. Shout out Marky Duda, my boy, coaching them to a major, clutching up with they came back from 3-1 down in their regional finals against Elevate, which is the formerly known James Cheese team. And they actually beat them from 3-1 down to qualify. Crazy qualifier, but yeah, I think they're going to be outmatched. Now, Team Liquid, Ground Zero. Ground Zero, 2/3 of a debut team as well from OCE, Kaka and Fiber, making their debut alongside Super Lucky, who is he's a player who's had a very interesting split, because Pioneers benched him to pick up Hunter, and then Super Lucky was just dominating them all split. So yeah, he kind of won that trade. They benched him, but he came out on top somehow. But Pioneers, not too bad. They qualified as well. But the first seed was a big deal because they got into this group. Look at Pioneers group by comparison. That being said, I think they have a chance against Team Liquid. I think they've probably got a small chance here. I'll give them a 1 on that one. But I think Team Liquid are the obvious favorites. Then we got Team Liquid, Gaming Gladiators. I'm sorry, I don't see a chance for Gaming Gladiators in that. Simply, I just don't. Then we've also got Secret, Ground Zero. Now Ground Zero, has Super Lucky ever played? No, he has played SAM teams, I'm pretty sure. He lost to the club and then lost to the club again, I'm pretty sure, or lost to the club and then lost to Team Secret. I think you have to give it. I think you just have to go see Team Secret. They came top 4 at the last major, and now they're the number 1 SAM team. I think you've got to just give it to them. But I'll say that it's close because OCE have played SAM pretty well historically, so I'm gonna give it to them here. You think GZ beat TL as APAC is not a good warm-up? What do you mean? APAC get a warm-up against Team Secret? You mean you think GZ beat Team Secret because APAC's not a good warm-up? Maybe. I still think I'm going to lean on Team Secret there, just a little bit. I realize my camera's actually blocking the score of this last round, so let me just make it a little bit smaller here, so we can see. Team Secret, Team Liquid. Team Secret, I think they're going to have a good event again, but I think Team Liquid's farm. They just won the last regional. They were grand finals twice against KC. I think you've got to give it to them. Team Liquid have looked very good coming in here. Had a pretty impressive fall major as well, losing to the eventual winners, whereas Team Secret lost to the eventual second place. So similar playoffs run, I'd say. But Team Secret, I think they've definitely got a real chance there to make something happen. I'll give them a 2. I rate them. I think they're probably underrated, so I'm going to give them a 2 here. It's close. I think it could be close series, but Team Liquid have got the edge for me. Ground Zero against Gaiman. Do we give Gaiman Gladiators a game? I think we'll give them one game because again, it doesn't make any difference to the group standings. Let's just give them a game. But really, Ground Zero are the heavy favorites here. It's a if they can get one, that would be a big result for them. And that's not disrespectful. I think that should be what they're aiming for here. Just try and get some games. Multi Midget, thanks to 29-month tier 1. He says, never heard more wrong things in a row consecutively in my life. What did I say wrong? I don't understand what I said wrong. You're not predicting enough upsets. We know it will happen much more often on LAN. I mean, last time I predicted the Fall Major, I said Gen G are going to win. And people said, that's too obvious. You need to predict some kind of surprise winner because the favorite never wins. And then Gen G won. So I think, saying you're not predicting enough upsets is kind of, I don't know, kind of crazy. Maybe my predictions are boring, but I mean, I'm just saying what I think is going to happen. I'm just saying what I think is going to happen. Gen G Pioneers. I think Gen G win this one. Do Pioneers have a chance of getting a game? Probably. It's not much. I don't know. It's 1 or 0. What do you guys think? Do they get a game off him? It's Hunter. Nah, I'm gonna say 0. I don't know. They could, but I don't know. They were so in the bin. Are they out of the bin yet? Somebody from OCE, please tell me. Are Pioneers completely out of the bin? Do they get one off Gen G? Did Gen G throw group games away on LAN? They might actually. They actually might. I know they won Regional 3. Maybe we'll give them 1 because they won Regional 3. The seeding had already been confirmed by that point though, so it doesn't really make any difference. But yeah, it's 1-3 or 0-3. I mean, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I don't have Pioneers winning any games in this group, so it probably shouldn't matter what score they are. But if it ends up mattering, if we have a 3-way tie here, then I'll revise it. Okay, Complexity versus Oxygen. Now, Rise should have the sling gone. It should be gone before this event starts. Rise is currently in a sling and a cast for his broken wrist. I think by the time the line comes around, he's just going to be in a cast, which should mean that he can play just fine with no difficulty at all, no discomfort. Yeah, Complexity, congrats on making it to LAN. Raise below GG CRR. I think they're going to do pretty well for themselves. They've also looked very good recently. Group D is a group of death for you. Yeah, Group D is a group of death if you're Pioneers, I think, but I don't think for any other team it's a group of death because they should be looking at the Pioneers series as a win that they have to be getting. Like, a group of death is a group that's hardest to get out of, I think, not the group that's hardest to win for me in this format. Divkush, thanks for the 8-month tier 1, and also Lucas, thanks for the 4-month prime. How you doing? Welcome back to the channel. So, Oxygen Complexity, this is, I think, the hardest series to predict out of anything that we've predicted so far. It's round 1. You've got CRR, who played very well at Gamers Day. I know it's not RLCS, but I think it's like very indicative of his LAN level. I think his LAN level looked very good. But yeah, Oxygen did start very strong in fall, so I feel like I have to give it to Oxygen just because they started well in the fall major. So I'm going to give it 3-2, but it's very close, so very, very close. Gen G Complexity. Now, if this is on the same day, like, this changes everything. Because if they just like, if Gen G played Oxygen right here, I think they lose. But I'm guessing these matches will be in the same day, and then this will be a new day. So if Gen G was playing Oxygen here, I think they'd lose. But they're playing Complexity, who just lost. What happens there? What happens? Do Complexity get them? I kind of want to predict a 3-way tie in this group. I'm feeling a 3-way tie, but I don't know how. Does anyone else get that impression that this is the 3-way tie group? I think it could happen. Just do it. It doesn't really make sense that they lose. I mean, maybe it does. Complexity could win here. Which 3-way tie makes more sense, guys? Which 3-way tie makes more sense? Sorry, Pioneers, I'm going to give you a 0 in every column so that you guys don't influence this 3-way tie at all. That might change for now. Let's just say Pioneers lose 3-0 in every instance. And then we have a 3-way tie like this. That's a complete 3-way tie, by the way. Just dead 3-way tie. But does that 3-way tie make more sense with Gen G getting their revenge on Oxygen? Or did Gen G lose to Oxygen again, but Oxygen lose their opener to Complexity? Which is more likely? Type 1 if you think Gen G will get their revenge and Oxygen will lose the opener or Oxygen will beat Complexity. Type 2, if you think that Complexity will beat Oxygen in the opener, and then Oxygen will beat Complexity again. Does Gen G lose to Oxygen? That's a 2. I thought the other day, I was thinking about this group, and I was like, I don't know, maybe they get their revenge. But the more I think about it, I think this is more feasible. The more I think about it. Like Gen G just starting strong, and then Oxygen, like, beat them again or something. Like, what do you guys think? I think this could happen. I think this could happen. Now, I want to test something. If I give Pioneers 1 game against Complexity, 2 games against Oxygen, does that mean that the group is automatically sorted by game diff? Yeah, it should be, right? Should be. I think that's how it works. Oxygen isn't that good? What are you talking about? They definitely are that good. Gen G is now first because they got a 3-0, and like they all beat each other 3-2, so you go to overall game diff. Yeah, it's 3-0, 3-1, 3-2. I feel like the most likely thing is probably like who's gonna more likely throw to Pioneers? That's the question. Who's more likely to throw? Because if it's a 3-way tie, we've got to think about what are the realistic scorelines here. I think game 5 in the opener, that makes sense. I could see a 3-1 for Gen G Complexity because they do understand how Complexity play pretty well. People are saying, yeah, Oxygen 3-0 Gen G. Could that happen again? Could they just 3-0 them again? Could they just get inside their head and win again? That would make it look like this. It would be Oxygen Gen G on top. I probably think that Pioneers, if they're losing if they're getting 3-0'd by someone, it would probably be Oxygen as well. I think they might just out-mech them and win 3-0, even if they're coming off a loss here. I don't know, 3-way tie with Gen G, or with Oxygen winning the group, Gen G for second, Complexity third. That seems pretty... Stop rigging it. I think this seems pretty feasible, though. I do. Like... something like that. I love this little head-to-head column, by the way. So what this is showing is it's the scoreline in the 3-way tie with Oxygen coming out on top, and then the score in the other tie as well. You don't see Gen G getting 3-0'd. Yeah, maybe I'll give them 1. But I mean, I think I'm kind of settled on this being the group, though. Like Oxygen, Gen G, Complexity seems... I'm feeling a 3-way tie here. And the 3-way tie that makes the most sense is this. It just is. Like, you know, Gen G, losing again because Oxygen just have the mind game win there. Like, that tends to happen a lot in Rocket League. Like, FaZe lost 4 times in a row to Gen G because Gen G were inside their heads. And, you know, Oxygen are clearly inside Gen G's head, so it could definitely happen. Very mental game, Rocket League, especially on LAN. So I think this could happen. Gen G over Colmix. Yeah, I think this is the most sensible 3-way tie. I think I'll go with that. I don't know what that does to the playoffs, but let's find out. Let's find out what the playoffs look like. Okay. We've got Falcons Complexity. Oh my. Vitality Gen G, G2 Ground Zero, and Team Secret G1. These are some cool matches. I would not mind seeing these. I would not mind these at all. Okay, let's start off with Falcons Complexity. I think recently Falcons' form has been much less consistent. Well, they've been consistently bad at LANs. Complexity have impressed me. So I'm going to say, I was going to say 3-4, but this is a best of 5, isn't it? I think it's a best of 5. Yeah, the best 5. Okay, so it's going to be 2-3 then. Whoops, not 22. 2-3. I think Complexity are the favorites there. I'm going to go with them. I think I'm going to go with Cole. Oh yeah, best of 5, it says it right there. Secret G1. Now, yeah, G1, I had them beating Crew in groups. I think Secret are better than Crew. I think on LAN they've looked more consistent than Crew, so I'm going to give it to Team Secret. Like, there's been a Sam team top 8 every time. I feel like that could definitely happen again. I'm going to go Team Secret on that one. G2 versus Ground Zero. I don't think Ground Zero should pose too much of a threat to G2. It's either a 1 or a 0. Like, since it's in NA, I'll say 0. If it was in EU, I'd probably say it's a 1. But it's in NA, so G2 should do well. Historically, that's been the case. Gen G Vitality. I think Gen G win this. I think Gen G, you know, I've had them losing to Oxygen, who are inside their heads, but against everyone else, I think they're going to do just fine. I'll give Vitality 1 in that one. I think that Gen G should be pretty comfortable in winning this. So what we got? We got 4 NA teams through. Who did I eliminate? I eliminated Dignitas. And I've got 3 EU. I've eliminated G1 and Vitality. And I've got a SAM team. A lot of SAM actually in this upper half with Complexity and Team Secret. So we're into best of 7s. I think FaZe will beat Complexity. I think it's not going to... I don't think it's going to go to Game 7. I think FaZe right now are too good. I think Complexity are a very solid team. But I'm going to put FaZe through that. The only matter is what score. I think it could very easily be a 4-1. Yeah, FaZe have just looked like they've got their number, so I'm going to say 4-1. Going to be bold. Oxygen Team Secret. That's I think a good... If Oxygen get that quarterfinal, I think they're going to be quite happy with themselves. They're going to be very happy with themselves. Now, the way that FaZe were able to eliminate Oxygen in the fall major playoffs was by defending, really focused on defending really hard. And that's how I expect Team Secret are going to do. But the difference with Team Secret and FaZe is that FaZe, I think, were just able to compete with Oxygen mechanically, and I don't think Team Secret can as well. So I have to give that to Oxygen. I'd love to say Team Secret another top 4, but I don't see it. I think I'll say 2 though, because I think Team Secret could get some games off some Oxygen mistakes, or maybe some overcommits or something. Also, they are just a very good team, so they could just straight up win a game on their own right. Oh, this is a great bracket, actually. Look at these games. We've got Team Liquid versus Gen G rematch. This is actually sick. My bracket is amazing. Secret is better mechanically than Oxygen. No, they're not. They're very good, though. They're not as good as Oxygen mechanically, though. Okay, Carmine Corp, G2. G2 have been on the rise again, but Carmine Corp have, I think, had very, very impressive form. I do think NA teams will have a good LAN here overall. I mean, I've got 4 of them in the quarterfinal versus 3 from EU, which is better than the fall major, where it was the other way around. But Carmine Corp are, I think, just a level above G2 right now. I'll give it 4-3, but yeah, if this match happens, I think Carmine Corp win. G2 hitting a lot of crossbars. They're just making more mistakes. They haven't beaten any LAN teams this split from NA. They didn't play Dignitas, otherwise I think they would take one. The reason I think it's going to be close is because that would be cool. And because G2 is they're good. They're good enough to beat Carmine Corp. I think there's a good chance, a realistic chance, especially in front of a home crowd. But yeah, there's definitely a skill diff there right now. Carmine Corp have looked better than G2. A Team Liquid Gen G, what a match. That might be match of the round. We already saw it go to Game 7 in the fall split, where Gen G came from behind to take it. Now, if they can do that in Europe, I don't see why they can't do it in NA. I'll probably give them a 4-2. Am I biased here because I want to see Carmine Corp versus Gen G? Maybe a little bit. But I think that's totally fair to say. I think that's completely fair. Didn't think, I'll be completely honest with you guys, I didn't think Oxygen were going to... I didn't have them as clearly in playoff strength. I think Oxygen were actually further down my rankings. But they got a good matchup here, so they're into the semis. Liquid are better than the past major. Gen G look weaker. Gen G have been very good at learning throughout the season so far. You can't just say that, if there's one team that you don't want to just underestimate, it would be Gen G. They lost twice to FaZe, but that's it. That's the only team that's beaten them, and FaZe have been very, very good against everyone else as well. Gen G are still up there, right up there, top tier team. So I think, just saying, Team Liquid have gone up, Gen G have gone down, therefore Team Liquid must have passed Gen G. I don't think it's as simple as that. I don't think it's that simple. We need some upsets. Why though? I want this. Give us this. Also, I think me putting Team Secret over G1, some people would consider that an upset. Some people would consider Complexity over Falcons an upset, even though I don't think it is. So I feel like I've had some upsets, not too many. But this would be a sick top 4. FaZe Oxygen. I think FaZe are an improved team mentally since the fall major. Oxygen, inconsistent. I'm leaning FaZe on this. I'm going to go 4-2. I don't think it's game 7. I think FaZe beat Oxygen in the fall. That was kind of a throw by Oxygen. Oxygen, they just did not play a very careful series. They were like just sending it constantly, and FaZe were able to like punish them by just moving the ball 2 millimeters and watching an Oxygen player go flying right past. If they faked one challenge that whole series, they probably would have won. But I don't think it's going to matter this time. I feel like even if they have those level changes, FaZe have improved. They're more like they look more mentally consistent. They might be 4th clan. I think this is the one that they're going to get out of 4th clan. I've always actually had my predictions of FaZe be pretty much 4th or thereabouts. But this time I'm putting them through to the final because I think their form is undeniable. And there's one thing Farstkiller said in the post-winning Regional 3 interview, or was it the post day 2 of Regional 3? The interview after they beat Gen G most recently. He said in the interview that what's really switched it around for them is that they realized that they're playing scared for no reason. And I talked about this on my stream a little bit before, but it's not really something I consider disrespectful when Farstkiller says this. He's not saying we shouldn't be scared of Gen G, they're trash. He's saying we shouldn't be scared of them because being scared of the opponents is not a good way to play Rocket League at the pro level. So now they're just like being more confident on the pitch, and just going for more challenges instead of respecting everything and thinking, yeah, they could have a flip reset there, so I'm gonna respect it. No, they're just like, hey, I'm just gonna go. I don't care if you've got a flip reset. So I think that's really helping FaZe a lot. That's what people are talking a lot about figured out recently. I think they've figured out to just be confident, to just trust themselves, play their own game, and that's why I've got them winning against Oxygen. I think they're just a level above right now. Carmine Corp Gen G. Now, this has been the most look forward to match in all of RLCS this season. We didn't get it at the fall major. Carmine Corp were eliminated by Moist, and then Gen G got Moist in the final, beat them 4-2. So we never got the dream match, Carmine Corp versus Gen G. Yeah, what do you guys in chat think about this one? I'm very curious. This is the most exciting, I think, match for the Rocket League scene. Who do you think takes Gen G, Carmine Corp? I think most of chat are saying Carmine Corp. I think. Yeah, definitely most of chat saying Carmine Corp. Yeah, I'm imagining, I'm guessing that the people who are saying Carmine Corp, the reason that they're saying that is because Carmine Corp won 2 regionals this split and got 2nd in the other one. Gen G got 1st, 2nd, and 5th equal. So yes, their regional results were better. The people who are saying Gen G are probably saying, well, Gen G won the fall major, and then since then, they've maintained their level. Carmine Corp have maintained their level, so Gen G will obviously be better than Carmine Corp. I've seen a lot of people saying this, actually. They're saying that the ranking, I think it was First Touch or T-Bates or someone, I can't remember. It was one of those, but one of those guys were saying that I think it was T-Bates, he said the only valid top 3 right now is FaZe, Gen G, KC. And the reason that he gave is because Gen G won the fall major, so that puts them above every international team. FaZe have beaten them regionally, so that puts them above. I think that's the reasoning that they used. I don't think that really is foolproof logic. I think there's some logic there, but I don't think it's foolproof. Because if you look at the way Carmine Corp have played, they've definitely leveled up. It's not like they're just like at their fall major level. If Carmine Corp can produce the level that they produced in Regionals 1 and 2, I think they will beat Gen G. I think they would beat them. I think they are better overall, like individually. I think Vatira's best player in the world. I think Itachi's peaked in Regional 1 and 2 this split. He's been unbelievable, and Exotic is super underrated. So I think Carmine Corp are actually the better sum of 3 parts. But are they the better team though? I don't know. Also worth mentioning, Carmine Corp against or in front of the audience in the fall didn't actually do as well as people thought they would. They had the big support from their fans there. They didn't actually deal with that very well. So if they're going to beat Gen G, they need actually to have they need to have learned from that experience. They need to have learned from that experience. But yeah, it's kind of like history versus like right now. I think this is a coin flip matchup. It really is. Like KC have clearly improved online, but will they, get nervous in front of a crowd again? That's a real question. Gen G have, kind of fallen off a little bit. Have they lost their mojo? Will they still have it on LAN? Don't know. Real coin flip matchup here. But yeah, there always is an EU team in the finals. So I'm gonna say Karmine Corp. I'm just gonna say Karmine Corp. There always is an EU team. There's never been an RLCS LAN without one, so I feel like it would be silly to predict the other way. But I do want to say that Gen G have a real shot here. This is like the hardest match to predict. Very, very hard. G2, I was like, yeah, they've got a real chance. I'll give them 3, but now in hindsight with Gen G having 3, I feel like I should probably reduce this just to indicate for people who are looking at this in the future that this is the closer match, in my opinion, than this. So I'm going to change this retroactively. Although I think G2 have a good chance as well, so I'll leave it at 2 is pretty respectable, I'd say. But yeah, FaZe Karmine Corp, grand final. FaZe getting past the 4th place curse. Karmine Corp trying to do what Vatira did at the Winter Major last year, making that run through the playoffs and winning instead of coming second. Yeah, that would be such an insane final, actually. That would be insane. FaZe KC. It really does come down to how well at that point FaZe deal with like the new territory that they're in, because Sypical and First Killer have never been in a LAN final. Mist has actually. Mist won DreamHack Montreal. He played very well in DreamHack Montreal 2019. But how would Sypical and First Killer deal with the grand final? Because teams can definitely like start pretty badly in a situation like that. You don't have to look very far in the past to see this. Gen G actually had this happen to them in the fall, where they had a terrible game 1. However, they rallied and came back and won it pretty comfortably. Do FaZe have that ability, chat? Do they have the ability to start badly and then regain? Because I think Karmine Corp do. I think Gen G do. FaZe, I'm not sure, actually. But is this new phase a regain phase? This new territory for Itachi and Exotic? Yes, it is. It is. But I think people are very quick to forget that it's actually new territory for First Killer as well, because they've been so close so many times. Now, I think history repeats itself more often than we realize in Rocket League, and this is another very difficult match to predict. These 3 teams for me, Karmine Corp, FaZe, and Gen G, I think are the top 3. I'll probably like retroactively change this to a 3 as well, because I think this could actually be very close. Sorry, off topic, but yeah, I think that history repeats itself. And I think NA wins the Winter Major 2nd year in a row. I think this will be NA's major, their major of the year, because it's in the West Coast. EU teams have to fly very far. FaZe have never looked better. If there's ever a time to predict them to win, I think this is it. But yeah, I pretty much like these matches here, I'm putting down to history repeating itself. Really, it's that simple. I just think history is going to repeat itself. First seed curse, though. What do you mean first seed curse? Gen G were NA first seed and they won the last what do you call it? The last major. Yeah, I think it's going to be very close. I didn't even think this was. I didn't know this was going to be my final. To be honest, I didn't know that it was going to go like this. I didn't look at this ahead of time. Yeah, I think this could happen. I think this is FaZe's major. I think people need to notice that they have actually made significant improvements to their game overall. But yeah, this is all dependent on whether or not FaZe can keep their mental in the same state it currently is in. Because right now, FaZe mental looks like it's in a very good spot. But they have to be so careful to make sure to do that on LAN, because if you get it wrong on LAN, like this team, I feel like could implode. They're definitely like a unreliable, I'll say, unreliable mentality. But right now it's working, so I've got to back them at the moment. But yeah, this bracket's sick. What do you guys think? Forget like rating the predictions. How hyped would this bracket be, like matchup wise? I think I've nailed this in terms of matchups. It's super scripted, so let's just give that one a 10 out of 10. W bracket, no NA versus NA matches, no EU versus EU matches at all in the entire thing. How have we managed that? The whole playoff, there isn't a single same region matchup in the whole playoff. That's insane. That's what we want. Like, what's really gonna, like, watch this. My prediction bracket, no same region matchups. Actual bracket, all the NA teams here, all the EU teams here. It'll just suck. We never get the perfect scripted bracket. We never get it.